So I'm Yuli. I'm from Galbot. We are a leading generalist robot company from China. And Galbot, it means Galaxy Robot. Actually, it means the vision of our founder that we want to make the robots that has the generalizability in the whole galaxy, in the whole universe. So today I'm going to share with you how do we build the generalist robot, not only in the technology side, but also have successfully deployed it into multiple scenarios. Okay, so this slide shows architecture, what we are doing. So basically in the core side, we have released a foundation model, a single foundation model that combines the cerebellum and also the whole body, whole hand control system into one single foundation model. We call it Astral Brain. And it is driven by the largest embodied AI data set we call Astral Data. And the reason why we have been able to drive the successful foundation model is because everybody knows that the crucial part for embodied AI is the data. So over the past few years, our company, we have been striving and also create a very unique paradigm. We leverage different kind of data to, finally to embed and train into the foundation model. And also on the device-wise, we focus a lot on the wheelbase because we believe that truly in the working capability, providing the value into the like manufacturing, in the retailing is the key here into the usage of the robots. But we also have the bipedal version of robot, but we still focus more on the wheelbase. And now in the past years, we have deployed thousands of our robots in several key scenarios, including manufacturing, including retailing, including logistics and warehouse, and also healthcare. So Galbot is just in one word, we are one of the very few companies have the full stack technology. Just compare our company to a vehicle company. We see the robot as a device, and the foundation model as an engine. The most difficult part is the data, like I mentioned. It's also the energy part. So, like I mentioned, we have accumulated 20 billion of embodied AI data, which is by far the largest in this world. The reason why it's so difficult is because we know that for a large language model, we can get free amount of text, picture, or video online. But for embodied AI, we actually need the 3D space data. We need the treasury data for the robot arm to interact with different items. And this kind of data can be extremely expensive and also very hard to get. And we release a very special paradigm of sim to real. So besides the real scenario data, besides the human behavior data, we also have a very special synthetic data to drive the flywheel of the embodied AI dataset to run. And this is from this year's GTC. The left-hand side actually shows a video that was shown in the keynote speech by Mr. Jensen Huang. And NVIDIA actually developed, based on our platform, to develop a very interesting use case in the pharmaceutical area. And they develop in their ESA sim first, in the simulator first, and then deploy it on our robot platform and show the live demo at GTC. So this is a very good example that besides the general skills we develop and we train on our robot platform, we also open our platform and Galbot SDK to the vast amount of developers globally, and especially for the vertical use case. And a little bit recap for the roadmap of the artificial intelligence. Remember how we come here to today. So first of all, we see the AlphaGo moment when artificial intelligence can play the chess towards human being. And then comes the GPT-2 moment, actually propose a universal solution to all language tasks and scale up it. And then the ChatGPT moment, that accomplish all language and finally make it like a human being can do like a reasoning and talking, similar to a human being level. And now it becomes a more vast usage in our daily life. So when we look into the embodied AI's roadmap, we see the similar roadmap. We also see like a more vertical use case, just like an AlphaGo moment. And then we are actually heading for a scaling up of the data in embodied AI, which drive to the GPT-2 moment. And future, we are also looking forward to a robot that can have the reasoning and working capability similar to a human being level. That's what we call the ChatGPT moment for embodied AI. So this is what we call an AlphaGo moment for humanoid. This is the world's first humanoid that can place tennis ball rally towards a human being. This is a work that we released this March. And the technology is already updated after that, but it's still under confidential development. So I'm showing you here actually the initial version. So on this video, you can see the work is 100% autonomous. The humanoid, driven by our foundation model, can play the tennis ball rally at least 8 to 10 rounds of rally towards a human being. You need to think you need to see where the tennis ball is coming, you need to think how it can run to the right direction and fight back the tennis ball. And also, you probably know, anyone play tennis ball, you also know that if you don't catch the tennis ball in the sweet spot in the pad, you are going to not fight back good enough, right? So these are all reasoned by the humanoid, by our foundation model in real time. This combines a low level of whole body control and also a high level of reasoning. So this is a very good example, shows our work in a single foundation model combine the cerebrum and also cerebrum together. And this work has become a viral on the internet. Even Elon Musk and Andrew Kang and Mr. Ajay Kapasi claim that this is insane. This must be made by AI. But the reality is that actually we are showing it on site later this year. And we want to make sure that everything is fully upgraded until we show it. Okay, a little bit more on how we do it. So basically this work are being trained based on the motion capture data on human being. How human being play the tennis ball. So we train it, we put this data into our simulator, and then our humanoid try to learn it basically from two parts. One is the basic skill. How does a human being play the tennis ball? Like what kind of movement, what kind of tactic to play the tennis ball? And the other thing is we run the data to train the humanoid to know how to move this naturally, lively. So what we see is from the video just what I show is that the humanoid not only learn how to play the tennis ball back bucket, also the whole movement is natural like a human being. And another work we have been doing on the cerebrum is that we released this world first dexterous hand neurodynamic model. Before that, we all know that dexterous hand is most difficult work because there is no way to teleoperate it. So it's called the pearl on the crown of humanoid. And driven by our foundation model, even an open source hand like Leap can handle different shape, like complicated item, and freely and rotate it on the hand in different direction. And it can also handle different tools on different items. So you probably know that some dexterous hand can do some precision work. But as far as we know, all of the traditional way is based on the pre-written trajectory. So that means that if the hand can use a screwdriver, if we change to another screwdriver, the original way, the traditional, will not work. So the generalizability in dexterous hand is extremely hard. And we have proved that with our algorithm, the dexterous hand can handle different kind of item. And in this year's Spring Festival, in this year February, we use the dexterous hand to spin 2 chestnuts in hand. the center of the gravity of the two chestnuts are constantly changing. There's no way to teleoperate it. And the decision driven by our algorithm can rotate it and adapt the different the gravity, the center, and rotate it freely. So this is our architecture. So basically, you see that we are using the multimodal signal and robot states and instructions to, basically run like an architecture, like a human being's brain. So input it into the cerebrum and also to the cerebrum and connect it with the pons. So this whole architecture we learn from humans' brain. We borrow this idea into our foundation model. And this is another work that we released in this, actually in this May, very recently. This is what we call a foundation model for the whole body control. And we compare it with NVIDIA Sonic, like from the latency and the smooth level, you can see apparently that our work has been achieving a higher performance. So this is also because this work actually leveraged the biggest human behavior data. We used 2 billion frames of human behavior data to train our model. And also, one more thing here, we didn't show it on this video. Actually, previously, for the humanoid to perform this kind of work, it needs to, two things. One is that in the pre-trained data set, it needs to have this kind of movement before. And actually, in our model, we prove that we don't need to have the exact behavior trained. We can actually have the new behavior performed with zero shot. It proves the generalizability. And the second, based on the original whole body control algorithm, we will have the limit or constraint on those movements that is hard for the humanoid to retain balance. So for example, for a very hard movement, like bouncing to the ground, the humanoid it will be limited to reflect the exact movement. But we compare that with the NVIDIA Sonic. We can do a more extreme movement. Even the humanoid sense that it's going to be forced to the ground, it can still remain balanced. And this is another work. This is our latest work on word action model. So previously, we know that VLA model is more prevail in this foundation model in embodied AI. And we also released our VLA model 2 years ago. Also proves to have the highest success rate, 98% of success rate. And we actually combine the advantage and our experience in VLA model into the advantage of forecast of word model. And we released the first word action model last March. And this year we upgraded to more long horizon and multitask ability. And we call it Astro Brain Word Action Model 0.5. And driven by this model, you can see that our robots can handle long horizon work, like cooking in the kitchen, handling steaks, and even add some flavor to the steak. And recently, we show a video on the website that our robot can cook the breakfast and pouring some juice through the glass. Even the people are trying to interrupt with the movement, and it can all close loop the task. And this work can also work on different robot device. We have proved the cross embodiment not only on our long arm Galbot G1, also on the short arm version, and also on the Unitree G1. And this is also a work that has leveraged a very small and light database. Actually, we only have 1.6 billion parameter. So that means that it can be easily deployed on the edge side, edge computing. And going forward, we are going to enlarge the data. So that's what we say, that when we find a way to scale up the data, there will be a better approach to reach the ChatGPT moment in embodied AI. And for word action model, we actually also have proved another significant breakthrough in this area. So previously in VLA, we leveraged expert behavior, which is high quality data. In this work, we leverage even low-quality data, unlabeled data. So we leverage all of them. For high-quality data, we use the data to do the policy manipulation and inward and forward, and also video jam. And for those unlabeled data, we use it to forecast for the video jam. So we have proved we are able to use the different structure, different quality of data to the best extent. And this is also a very good, important finding that if we are able to use the low-quality data, we open the gate for the future for embodied AI to leverage a vast amount of data, because the barrier to find the data for embodied AI is lowered. So this is also a very important insight that we are approaching the ChatGPT moment of embodied AI. So this is a data hybrid. We use the vast amount of information, like internet data, like human behavior data from the internet, and also the human motion capture data. And we also have synthetic data. That is the unique technology from our company. We have closed the gap between the sim and the real world. And we also have the real-world teleoperated data. We have built a teleoperated training farm, data farm in multiple cities. And that is the high-quality data that we mentioned. And also, we deployed over thousands of robots already in real world. And this data are kept on feedback and fine-tuning our foundation model. And this is a short list of the partners we have found the cooperation. So we have found the cooperation with the leading manufacturers, including Bosch Group, including Siemens, and including CATL, the leading battery maker, and also Mercedes-Benz, Hyundai Motors, and the leading vehicle makers in China. And this is a very interesting video that from the Fox News. Their broadcaster, Brad, visits our company when he's accompanying the visit of President Donald Trump to Beijing. And he literally entered this convenience store, Family Mart. It's a real convenience store. And he sees a robot working there. That is our robot. And there is no voice of this video. Actually, Brad was talking to the robot. Hey, can I order a sausage, please? And you see our robot answer him, okay, Kao Chang, 8.8 yuan in Chinese. Very funny. And then the robot going to the oven and handle a sausage to Brad immediately. Brad got so surprised. Wow, these are done in 1 minute. And the robot can even understand and finish the task just by language communication. You see? Okay, so another thing here. So we talk more about the foundation model, about the AI technology. But for a humanoid to work in real scenario, it needs also to be sustainable on the hardware-wise. And our team, although we are a very young company, our team has been working together for over a decade. And this is show the smart pharmacy. Actually, we have built over 100 smart pharmacy in China, over 33 cities. And the first one was opened at the end of 2024. And that robot working in that smart pharmacy has non-stop, continuously worked 7 days, 24 hours for 18 months. So this has already proved the sustainability of our work, of our robots. So given the time limit, I would just very quickly flip this is a Galbot store. We have opened 170 Galbot store. Please come to China, enjoy it. That is the convenience store operated purely by humanoid, and we have opened in 40 cities already. And this is another product, very important, Galbot S1. This is also the world's first humanoid with a payload of over 50 kilograms. And this robot has been deployed in Siemens factory, also in CATL's factory. They have a really strict bar for safety because they are making battery, which is very expensive and also can be dangerous dropping to the ground. So they require 100% success rate. And we are the only robot that working at CATL's factory autonomously. And this is massive deployed in Great Wall Motors with our Galbot G1. And this is with Mercedes-Benz in their Beijing Shunyi's factory. This is for Hyundai Motors for the spare parts sorting. So given the time limit, I will just very quickly flip to the end. So there is a contact on this page. If you are interested in our robots, please contact with me. Yeah. Thank you for your time, and thank you for